You can learn the computer fairly simply. And you know, there's a lot of funniness and buttons all over the place, but it's actually fairly simple. You know, this is pretty much the same as a bouncing ball. So now I've got my keyframes here, one on the ground, one in the air, one on the ground again. And as I flip through the drawings, you can see that's basically the movement it gives you, up and down, which is pretty boring. So I can tweak the in-betweens using this, which is a spline editor. And these are my keyframes here on the ground, in the air, and on the ground. And I can pull this so that as it hops up in the air, it will hug that top keyframe and then come back down again. So now as I flip through it, you can kind of see that it's favoring the top extreme. And then if I wanted it to now travel across the room as it hops, I can place extremes here. You create a movement across the room. So you just keep layering stuff. So by the end, I'll just have numbers all across the screen. But I'm not really looking at the numbers. I'm looking at what they do to this image up top. And with a character like Woody, we always describe it as a marionette. And as the character's built, you attach strings or controls. You basically just key in those extremes, and then depending on how you overlap the keys, you can get a nice flowing movement. So first we have the dialogue, and I look at the dialogue to see where the sound falls and how I can fit the visuals to the dialogue. We start with, this is the soundtrack, and that's all we have to go with. So we try to find out on what frame does each sound fall on, so we can fit the visuals to the sound. Based on the sound, I figure out what I want him to do. I do thumbnails indicating his acting. And that way I know exactly what I'm going for in the computer before I start. So I try to really think about what is the dialogue saying? You know, where has he come from and where is he going in this scene? So that's all done in the planning of the thumbnails.